In Parshas Nitzavim, we have the parsha of Tshuva, and it says that there will be all the tzaros, the tochacha, and kisavo, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring all this tzaros on us, and then v'shavta Hashem Elokecha, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will gather us in, and so on. We briefly the entire um, the entire Tshuva of Klal Yisrael, come back HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and so on. The Ran over here um, poses a question. It says that because we will suffer all this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to be, we will do tshuva, we'll return to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One expects that this return to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this geula sophist, this tshuva that brings back the geula, will be something that is a worthy type of tshuva. We have been taught that doing something out of fear is not as good as doing something willingly. So the pasuk seems to be saying we're going to be hit so hard, we'll have no choice, and we'll throw up our hands and say, "Okay, Hashem, if you want it this way, that's the way it's going to be." It doesn't sound as if this is the appropriate tshuva that should bring about the Bias Kol Tzedek, Mashiach Tzidkenu, and so on. That's the question that the Ran sort of poses. So the Ran says, it says, Ki sidrishenu b'chol levav chol nafshecha. And the Ran explains as follows. There are two types of tshuva that come from doing something from suffering. The first one is, I really don't want to do it. I'd rather not keep Torah mitzvahs, but I've come to realize there are consequences. I weigh one against the other. It's not worth the consequences, and therefore I am going to do tshuva and do mitzvahs. I'll do mitzvahs. That type of tshuva is certainly inferior to it's certainly second class. The Quran says it does help protect a person. At the end of the day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is fair, but that does not bring about a real change in Klal Yisrael's fortunes, and makes sense that not. There's a second type of tshuva, and I would like to preface it with a famous Gemara. It's a Gemara that he doesn't reference, but it definitely is something which fits squarely with it. It says that for various, if a person has to give a get and he doesn't want to, and Beis Din has decided that it's appropriate, they can force him to give the get, and they hit him. They get it's physical pressure until he agrees to it. The Gemara says that, so the Gemara asks, well, the only divorce the only divorce that is halachically valid is if it's been done something, if it's willingly. A coerced divorce does not help, is not valid. So how in the world could it work? It's the Gemara's question. The Gemara answers, since it's the right thing to do, we say that the coercion eventually gets him. We say that the agreement, even though it started with coercion, is done willingly. The same thing with bringing certain karbanos, where a person has obligated to bring those karbanos, he hasn't. We force him and he agrees to it. Over there, you also need to have it done willingly. The same answer in Gemara. So the point is, we look at certain, we look at a person, at a person's wants, desires, and so on, as being layered. So let's give an example. Imagine a person really would like to go someplace, really wants to go there, but it's hot outside, it's a long trek, and he's lazy. So if we force him to go there, so for the person that never wanted to go there and he's only doing it to do an errand for us that we forced him, he will be upset afterwards as well, and really will be angry, but he has no choice. The person that really wanted to go there because he wants to go there, it's just that there was this block because it's hard work, it's a steep climb, it's hot, it's cold. Once he's forced to go there, he's going to want to do it because that's really who he is. So we look at Klal Yisrael and we say Klal Yisrael's inner self is good. Klal Yisrael's inner self is a desire to do what's right and to connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But there are layers of discomfort, laziness, and other things that surround a person. The language used to describe the bad that sort of it keeps a person away from doing good. In the Kabbalah's form, it's referred to as klipa, which means a shell. The imagery of a shell is that it might be a tough exterior like a walnut. It might be a very prickly exterior like a cactus, and there are many other exteriors that make it difficult to get there. But once you crack it open, the inside is extremely luscious, extremely edible. Klal Yisrael's neshama is the same way. The neshama itself always wants to do what's good and what's right. There are layers around the person. Some people thinner, some people thicker, some people tougher. When we're able to crack open those layers and we get to the inside, that's when so we've gotten there. So here also, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, after we have gone astray, he will need to push very hard against us to get us to do what's right. But the geula, the tshuva that comes from that is not because I am giving in and making a decision to do the lesser of the two difficulties. It's because once I've been physically forced to do X, I really relish it. I know that I should keep eating mitzvahs. I know I should be doing it. And once I'm doing it, I'm really, really into it. And that's what he says. The pasuk says, "Ki sidushena b'chol havav v'chol nafshecha." So when you will begin to search for it, to seek it out with your whole heart, so the grabbing onto it is done wholeheartedly. This is the Ran's point over here is an extraordinary point of how do we greet difficulties and challenges. One is a grumbling. We're upset. Why does Hashem keep sending challenges, difficulties? A second approach is it's a sort of atonement. It's a kapara of sorts. And yes, it is true that there are things like that, but I think it really misses out on the main point. The main point is that we need sometimes to counterbalance the physical pleasure or discomfort that is preventing us from the mitzvah. So I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do because I'm lazy, tired, whatever. I am doing what I shouldn't be doing because I crave, I have desires, and so on. But when there is a physical force to counteract it, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu pushes me, and I'm able to take that out of the equation, so to speak, then what I'm left is a sincere desire to do what's right. So it's important to understand, especially the parasha always comes around the time for Tshuva, and the Elul, right, week or two before Rosh Hashanah, and so on. It's important to understand that the process of Tshuva is, it's not enough to regret what we've done bad and so on. It's to open up the desire to do good. All the difficulties and all that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has sent us that is painful is there to get rid of that outer shell. If we can give an example, somebody is somebody has some sort of mechanism where the food that he shouldn't eat, someone has put in drops that make it bitter. So the bitter drops are there so that you don't eat it because it's bitter. But the real reason is because you shouldn't be eating it. So the point of Yisurim and difficulty is not that we stop doing it because of difficulty. It's that when we stop doing it because of difficulty, we awaken ourselves the sense of wanting to do what's right and wanting to be kosher to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.